Thousands of people watched as 41 of the best model helicopter pilots in the world, representing 19 countries, showcased the FAI F3C World Helicopter Championships at Fentress Naval Auxiliary Landing Field located near Virginia Beach, Virginia. Contestants flew 1 round per day when each pilot was given 10 minutes to complete 9 predetermined maneuvers. During the competition, the wind averaged 10 to 17 miles per hour. If you have ever flown a helicopter, you know how winds of that force can make controlled maneuvering very interesting. Each participating country sent 3 pilots, 3 callers, and 1 team manager. An exception was the Japanese team, which sent 3 additional people to assist in keeping the pilots and their machines in top form. This world-class competition demonstrated that organization and preparation were the key factors in determining the overall winners of the competition. The Japanese team came very prepared for this event with a month of concentrated practice in windy Hawaii. Each pilot also brought identical aircraft for backup. Their teamwork, organization, and discipline were exemplary. With heavy backing from major manufacturers, the team was allowed the luxury of concentrating on flying and maintaining their helicopters. While on the other extreme, the British team members had to finance their own airfare, hotel, and food from money earned outside of the hobby. Throughout the competition, nerves were stressed while the pilots were required to perform precise and delicate maneuvers to earn the highest number of points. This created an excellent base for a sense of camaraderie and showmanship while off the competition field and at the practice field. You will have a chance to see throughout this program the best pilots in the world cutting loose and performing the most amazing aerobatics. We had a chance to talk with the United Kingdom team members and hear their thoughts on preparing for the competition.
Well, as you know, I mean, running up to a World Championships is a pretty long-winded thing because, I mean, we ran our team trials a year ago. And the reason we did that was not just for the fact that the guys needed to practice, but we also had to get prepared to travel a long way at a fairly expensive, cost, if you like. We tend, unfortunately, to be fairly separate because we live in different parts of the country, so we haven't actually practiced together. But having said that, we've sort of kept in touch. So Len has done, as you can see by the very high standard of flying, that he's doing a pretty good amount of practice, etc. You know. Having said that, you appreciate he's a good flyer anyway. John and Colin, unfortunately, because of pressure of business, haven't been able to do quite so much. But I'm still very pleased with the way they've flown so far, and as you can see, the standard is there. They just need a little bit of luck as well.
Okay, I'm going to ask some of the individuals questions. Colin, can you give me an idea how the competition has been going for you? How do you feel about the scoring and the maneuvers?
Well, the first round I was very nervous. Like with any big competition, it's the first day. You think things are going to go wrong, and sure hell they normally do. But yesterday I got my act together a little bit better. The actual scoring has been pretty consistent, although there's been a few high and low scores. Some of the top pilots, if they've done a bad manoeuvre, they've tended not to get the marks they possibly should have got. And some of the not so good pilots, if they've done a really outstanding manoeuvre, then they possibly got a few lower points than perhaps maybe if they was Japanese. But all in all, I'm pretty pleased. I just hope the helicopters stay together for the next 2 flights. I'm flying a Colt Omega pod and boom. I was hoping to fly a fuselage helicopter, but unfortunately, like with all of these things, that wasn't to be. It has a YS61 engine, sitar rotor blades, both main and tail. It has a Hattori tune pipe, Futaba 1024 radio, standard Futaba 131S servos. It's basically a stock helicopter. There's no actual improvement, modifications apart from the sitar blades.
Len, we've been watching you fly a lot this week and doing very good. A little bit of bad luck on that first time, but today you came through on a windy day. How does it feel? You know that we were watching you prepare and you're ready to go out there today. We knew a lot was riding on today. What was going through your mind before you walked out there?
Well, the first flight, I did have mechanical failure, and that was very depressing because I really felt on song there. The second day, I was nervous, but I had reasonably good weather, and I got a good score. But today, I was really unbelievably nervous. I couldn't sit still. I was fidgety in the ready box because I needed a 200 score, and the wind was really against us to get a high score. But I was lucky. I got 202, so I'm very pleased.
Now, you needed that just to stay in the standing. You needed a good score today, but you were looking at that wind as maybe another piece of bad luck?
Yes, because we only get 4 flights, and the best 3 count. So you throw away your first one. Mine was already thrown away for me on the first round. So I've got to get 200 points just to stay in the first 10.
Tell us about the machine you're flying.
It's a combination of my own mechanics and GMP. It's got a GMP Elite rotor head, which is the latest creation from those guys in California. The side frames are mine. We make them out of fiberglass. My wife makes the bodies and the fuselages, and the bodies and the rotor blades. And it's just put in. There's many modifications. In fact, there's more modifications there than there is parts. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else you can add to tell us about some of the secrets of your good flying machine?
There isn't really any secrets. It's just hard work. I wished I could get rid of my nerves in my hands because my hands really shake. They're even shaking now. But they really do knock around the sticks. And if I could get rid of that, I think that's the secret. If you're calm and collective, then you're going to win. Yeah. And luck's got to be on your side.
After this great flight demonstration by Mike Moss at the practice field, the American team shared some of their views of the competition.
How's this competition been going for you?
I think I can fly better, but overall I think I've done okay.
You've switched from a pod and boom to a fuselage helicopter in this competition. Maybe you can give us an idea if that's caused any problems or anything.
The fuselages definitely do the aerobatics better than a pod and boom, but they're a lot more difficult to handle in the wind when you're hovering. So getting used to the hovering in the wind's been the most difficult part of converting over. I'm flying an XL60 custom with a miniature aircraft Long Ranger 3 fuselage, running an OS61 SFN side exhaust ABC engine.
Any modifications?
It's pretty well stocked. In fact, I'm not even running a tube drive on the tail. I'm running a wire.
Tim, what are you flying?
Same Long Ranger 3, custom mechanics. It does have a Delta Hinge 3 system on the head, OS61 ABC, tube drive on the tail, JR radio.
Defending world champion, what's the difference between this competition and 2 years ago?
Competitions are very good. Main thing is the fact that we have all 3 world championships here in one. It makes it a little different. You get socialized with the other world champions and such.
The aerobatics and the pylon racing. What about the maneuvers, the mandatory maneuvers?
I personally don't like it as much. It's nice they got more stunning in. That is nice. Yes, that's nice. But it makes it a little less interesting with the mandatory maneuvers. But it's still fun.
What machine are you flying?
It's basically a modified competitor in a Cobra Ranger.
This is Robert's 3rd world competition. Robert, what have you seen change? What's the evolution been over the...
Well, I've seen model helicopters improved in the sophistication of them, the design, the reliability of them, and also the pilots, of course, have gotten a heck of a lot better. After getting beat three times in a row by the Japs, I've also learned that you've got to start practicing, all of us, hard.
Do you think that's the main difference?
Pretty much so, yeah. I believe you can lock into what you have. Their helicopters are quite nice design-wise, but pretty much most of them on the market are.
Okay. And what are you flying?
I'm flying a GMP Legend Elite with a Cobra Ranger body with lots of color.
Okay. Has anybody got anything they'd like to add to...
I'd like to say something about my team. I think they've done an outstanding job, and this country should be very proud of them. We're going to take second in the team, that is for sure.
Here are some highlights of the flying maneuvers of each of the U.S. team members. This is Curtis Youngblood's flight demonstration on the last day of the competition. He wowed the crowd with an incredible performance. The world champion Japanese team that won the competition gave us the honor of an interview, informing us of some of their preparations for the competition as well as information about their machines.
They made sure they're physically fit to be participating in this weather, and also every individually had hard training just before they left to make sure they can repeat their performance on last two World Championships, which Japan team came as group leaders. So they have quite lots of hopes for that. This is Mr. Ishikawa's Bell 222 gear here. He has TSK mechanical inside with TSK head, with very typical Japanese low RPM heads, with fuselage made by fiberglass. I'd like to ask Mr. Ishikawa about his concept on RPM. I think most of Japanese flyers tend to fly low RPMs. Well, it is a little bit lower than what Americans and Europeans are doing, but he doesn't think it's very much lower than most of European helicopters. However, what he made, or what most of Japanese flyers doing, is they decide the rotor diameter first to have better auto-rotation capabilities and other maneuvers. The major changes he made was the availability of this new engine. This one is made by YS61 long stroke. This engine has very high torque. So what he has made is his chord of his rotor blade a little bit wider to utilize maximum torque he can gain from this engine. So this is one major difference from other Japanese helicopters. This is Mr. Sensei, who is the youngest member of Japanese team at the age of 19. And this is his helicopter. His head swashblade up is standard Cout product from the Professor range. And this is very unique, original fuselage with one-of-the-kind mechanical unit. This mechanical unit has been designed by his father, with a very unique feature about it is the reduction unit is made with timing belt rather than gear. And the main purpose of that is to reduce the vibrations. I'm sure when you see this flying, it's very quiet, no mechanical noise. The design of this fuselage is very unique as far as wind resistance is concerned. They have one-piece skid, which has very low drag. And also this one features very unique tail drive. This tail drive is belt-driven as well. And also this is new requirement, 180 degrees auto-rotation turns, which is useful if you can have mobile or connected tail drive during auto rotation. So as you can see, this is connected onto auto rotation gear. So during auto rotation, his tail will work. This is Mr. Dobashi, who is the last year's Japanese national champion. And also, this is his equipment. One unique feature that Mr. Dobashi explained earlier is his very sleek fuselage, and also his rotor blade with weight inside. This rotor has very heavy weight located in the tip of the wing, which results in very stable hovering and also very good high-speed maneuvers. This body is named Black Shark. The concept on the design behind it is very narrow cross-section that will eliminate the velocity change against and also following winds. So that is basic concept to it, but as you can see, it's very, very sleek, very slippery shape it has. It's what he's using inside of this fantastic fuselage is Hirobo's SST Eagle. I understand it's just off the box. I wish I can do that.
Apparently, there are many people that wish they could take a helicopter straight from the box and fly it to become the grand champion in the world, as Yukihiro Dobashi has done. At the age of 20, he placed first in the scoring. Second place went to Dobashi's teammate Kazuyuki Sensui. An American, Curtis Youngblood, placed third, and the U.S. team came in second in the team competition. Robert Gorham finished fifth, Tim Skinard ninth, and Tom Dooley came in 12th. The FAI F3C Championships brought teams from all over the world. The exchange of information on flying techniques and equipment modifications of the competitors from Germany, Austria, Italy, Luxembourg, France, Switzerland, Australia, and a dozen other countries is unparalleled. Truly, a gathering of talent like this is a definite plus for the growth of the sport. This wraps up this presentation of the World Championships competition in Virginia. The next one will be held in 1991 in Italy.